an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.
And I hope that mothers with daughters watch this video together. If you watch this video by yourself and then you include your daughter later, let her watch it with you, because I know as we become teenagers, we don't understand, like, from a mother's point of view. We don't understand. And I don't want your daughter to experience what I experienced. Even though everyone's experience is totally different. She might not deal with what I dealt with. But I just wanted her to know, like, loving your mom is important. You only get one. And once you lose your mom, you're never the same. You will never be the same. And I don't want her to experience being mad at you for so long, or not understanding where you're coming from, because she won't. Because one, she's a child. And two, she's not a parent. And I want you guys to be close. And I want her to realize that you are her only greatest friend. So, mothers, watch this with your daughters. You don't have to watch the whole thing. At least this part. So that your daughters can understand that they need you. They need your nurture. They need your hugs. They need you to show them how to love other women. Yes. She needs you to show her how to love other women. And if you do not know as a mother how to love other women, start with your child. Then start with your friends. Because it's hard. So, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. And God bless you guys. I'm Classy Shay. Thank you for watching. I'm bougie, but I'm nice. Happy Mother's Day. Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. So today I will be telling you guys a story about my mother while also doing my makeup. And so far I already did my eyebrows before I decided that I will tell you guys this story. So stay tuned. So if you would like to know, I use Fenty Beauty on my eyelids as a shadow. Sometimes I also use it as a foundation as well. But as of right now, I will be using it as a shadow. So August 26, 1975, my mother was born. And she was a chocolate, beautiful, round-faced baby. Okay. And I will insert pictures as well because my mama was so cute. She was born, I want to say she was born at Temple. I think I was born in Temple. She was born at Einstein. I could be wrong. But she was raised in Germantown. If you don't know where Germantown is, it's in Philadelphia, considered uptown, but G-Town or Brickyard or whatever. So that's where my mom is from. She was short for a long time, and she was just the cutest baby. Okay, let me tell y'all. And she had the most beautiful smile. Now, my grandmom did not know how to do hair, so my mom would walk around with like this these plaits in her head. I want to show pictures as I tell this story. So hold on, I'm going to go get some pictures. Okay, so this was my mama as a baby with the round face. She was just so cute. And as she got older, because in this picture, her eyes are like big. But my mom had chinky. And as you can see, like her eyes is a lot more chinkier. And let me tell you, my mom always had me in summer camp, so I would get really dark in the summertime. But anyway, so I feel like I'm talking about me more than I'm talking about her, but let's get back to her. So she was handed off to Juanita and Clifford, okay? And she had a sister named AOLIDA. They are 5 years apart. And my mom always would look up to her sister, especially like because my aunt used to do like these magic tricks or whatever, and my mom used to think that my aunt was like you know, she could do things that she couldn't do. So she was just like really excited about her sister. My mom was born with duck feet, and I don't know if you guys know what duck feet are, but it's basically when your feet are like this. My grandma was not having that. So my grandma, she she got my mom's feet corrected. So she has to wear these shoes with this bar in the middle. And it's so crazy because I'm getting my house remodeled, and this is the house my mom grew up in. So with me getting the house remodeled, all the pictures are away, and I'm so sad because I wish I could show you guys the pictures with my mom. She had on like this Easter flare dress and these cute shoes with a bar in the middle, and it was to correct her feet. But anyway, my mom, she grew up in, you know, she had a wealthy life. Considered to her, they were the first on the block to have cable. They were the first on the block to have a microwave. And by the way, shout out to my grandma. Happy Mother's Day, because she raised her girls on her own with no help. Okay, by the way. My grandmother is one of my like greatest best friends. But this is not a story about her. This is a story about Sydney. If I did not say my mother's name, her name is Sydney. And I'm trying not to get emotional, y'all, so I'm gonna keep smiling as I talk about her. My mom, she had all A's and B's in school. I've seen report cards of my mom because my grandma used to keep these like baby books of theirs and like put like all their stuff in there, like their umbilical cords, their, you know, she had their family tree, which is my great grandmom, my great grandfather. And I met all of them because we'll get into like how I know like all my great greats. Yeah. And how I know my great. We'll get into all of that. So my mom went to different schools in Germantown, like Pickett. I don't know if Pickett is still Pickett. She still talks about that. She graduated from Germantown High School. I am speeding this up a little bit because my mom wrote a book about her life. So, and I'm trying to figure out, and yes, because I have dark circles, I do put this here before. We'll get into it. But everybody's different how they do their makeup. I do my makeup how I do my makeup because of my face. But anyway, my mom graduated from Germantown High School. But before she graduated from Germantown High School, she had me. So my mom was 14 when she got... That's where life kind of like took a turn for her after she had me. My mom always say like, oh, you were my pride and joy, and, you know, I love you. But I know life got hard for her at that timing because after that, she started having seizures. She had a stroke, and then she found out that something was wrong with her. But at the timing, lupus was not a diagnosis back then. So this is 1991, 92, and I think 93 is when she found out that she had lupus. So she had me in 1990. And then 91, that was her first seizure. And then 92 was her first stroke because she always tells a story about how she was cooking me a grilled cheese sandwich in the kitchen downstairs. And she said her eyes started to flicker. And she'd be like, she just gave me, she turned the stove off, and she cut the sandwich up for me. And then she ended up calling 911. Oh my God, I love, I know it's all handsy, but Patrick, TA for face. I love this. I get the deep one because I'm a dark skinned girl. And I know that we're not supposed to dip a brush in creamy foundation, but I don't know. I don't like to scrape it. I don't like that scrape. I don't like it. It just takes up too much makeup, so I like doing it this way. But anyway, so they had a daycare center. You're gonna see how this goes a long way, like just putting it on a brush. So they had a daycare center at Germantown High School back then, but before then, like my great aunt would help watch me before they got the daycare center. So I think that was like my mom's 10th year. And I used to go to school with her or whatever. And my mom had a best friend, And for those who don't know, that's who I call my second mother too. But like, she's my godmom, but she's my second mother. She's more than just a godmom. Like, she really goes all out for me. Like, shout out to Umi. I will not pronounce her name on here because I don't want people to be like, oh, who that? Blah, 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 blah. But let's shout out to Umi, because she played a big part and big factor in my life. But my mom had like a lot of friends that I call aunts and uncles. And they still look out for me to this day. Like, they know like this is hard on me, and they have been here for me. So yeah, I'm trying not to get emotional, y'all. So my mom was diagnosed with lupus in 1993, the year she graduated high school. She found out that she had lupus. And 1999, we moved out of Philly, and we moved into an apartment until our house was ready. And then 2010, we moved into a house in Bucks County. Shout out to Bucks County. And then I went to school out there until I graduated high school, and then I moved back to Philly. Then gradually my mother moved back to Philly, and we left Warminster behind. But my mom has always had like this genuine heart, and I tell these people this story all the time. So people will see on social media that like I'm saying, hey uncle, hey auntie, and they be white, black, Chinese, Puerto Rican. It don't matter, because my mom will open the door for any and everybody. And I know I'm jumping everywhere, but I have so many aunts and uncles and cousins and this, that, and the third. And I want to say like thank you to my mom for like giving me a bigger family than I didn't know that I needed when I was younger, because I'm my mom's only child. So they literally are helping me through the things that like I didn't even know I needed help through losing her. Sorry y'all, I got emotional. I had to get off. I had to stop for a little bit. So my foundation is already done. I'm sorry. And so my mom had a lot of friends. My mom was always welcoming. She always had open arms, and she just was kind-hearted. That family come from. So shout out to my family from Warminster that we've met in Warminster, and it's still my family to this day. Sorry if I got too close to the camera, but anyway, so that happened in 1999. So let's see, what year was this? So let's go back to my mother being very, very close. Also with the Patrick Foundation, let me tell y'all, it comes with a setting powder, so you don't have to buy like the setting powder. It actually really goes in my skin very well, because like I said, I'm a dark skin girl. And you don't have to guess what type of setting powder you need, so it's actually really good. I actually like this a lot. But my great grandmother and my mother was very, very close. So in 2017, when my great grandmother passed away, my mom she just left Warminster. Like, I think she felt like she was just too far from the family, and she came here, and she lived in this house until the day she passed away. My mom, she's just amazing. Like, I'm not even trying to toot my mom's horn, because my mom is going. I had the most amazing mother. She might not always have gotten it right, but she tried. She was always a trying mother. So let's go back to 2003, 2004. My mom was in a real bad car accident. She was in the back seat. And if you're from Warminster, it used to be a street that would go straight to Sunoco on County Line Road, but it used to go across. They closed that road off and put grass there. And the reason why they did that was because of my mother's accident. She was in the back seat with a friend. She was actually going to go see her grandmother on her dad's side, which is my great grandmother. She's in the middle. She was going to go see her because she was actually dying. And my great grandmother is old. That great grandmother is older than my great grandmother from my mom's side. My great grandmother had children later in life, where so my grandmother, which is my mom's mom, had children and when she was, I believe, 18 when she got married, and then her early 20s. So my mom was born 5 years after my aunt. So I'm gonna say she was probably about 24 23, 24 when she had my mom. I don't know. I never even calculated that before. But my grandmom had her kids. My great grandmother had her kids young because she married my great grandfather, and then very young in life. And then my grandmother got married young, and she had her kids kind of like in her early 20s. So, my mother's grandmother on her dad's side, which is this woman again, I'm going to show y'all again. When she, let me see, let me get a little closer, because everybody always say I look like her. And shout out to my Pearsall family that I found on Facebook. Well, we found each other on Facebook. That's my Pearsall. My moms went to go see her, and on their way back, they went to cross from Sunoco like through that field, and they got into a real bad car accident, and the car literally hit my mom right on because she was in the back seat. My mom was then partially paralyzed, and my life changed, and I had to take care of my mother. So I went from a mother that was walking, talking, jumping, even though she had lupus and she was sore most days. Our life changed. And, my mom, she suffered from depression during that time. And she didn't like the fact that I had to take care of her, or not I want to say like physically and emotionally, not financially. My mom still made sure things was on lock. But it's just my mom's story is sad, but also like happy. And the reason why I say it's sad in some areas is because her main focus was me. And the reason why I say it's also happy because her main focus was me. My mom died in that accident. So I could have lost my mom at a very young age, but it wasn't her time. So she came back. She told her story about what she saw. And yeah, my mom was, yeah. But that story always made me sad. So she was partially paralyzed. She had to wear a back brace, this neck brace, for a long time. She was in a wheelchair, which her wheelchair is downstairs in the basement here. She was in a wheelchair. They put a ramp on the outside of our house where we lived at, because of, but anyway, when I was around 18, my mom started walking, jumping, skipping, hopping. So God is good all the time. And we faced that by ourselves. Like we figured it out. We figured it out. Yeah, we figured it out. That was one strong woman, y'all. Let me tell y'all, my mom was, she was so strong. A lot of people wouldn't have been able to face what we faced it and what she faced it in her life. And she held on because of me. So I will forever be grateful for that. Like, when she told her story about what she saw my great grandmother, the one she went to go see. So when I went to go meet my mom at the hospital, the day of the accident, she was laying still. And I remember this to this day because that shit hurt me because, sorry, y'all, I know I can't curse, but it hurt me so much that because she wasn't moving. And I thought I lost my mom then. And I was like, Mommy, and she just started crying. And she said, I saw your grandma, like, in heaven. And there's plenty of people who know the story. Cause my mom told this story like it was nothing, okay? She saw her, so she knew that she was ready to go. And I know people tell their stories about, like them going, like, them dying, and then, like, they come back. But she knew that her grandma was about to go, seeing her, Love your parents. I know sometimes we don't want to listen to our parents, and we think that, like, they don't know it all. But they do. They want us to be better than them. They're not trying to, like, chastise us or belittle us in a situation. And sometimes I think we forget that, and we become adults and we start seeing things that they warned us about. And I want to say this, like, just hold on to your parents. Understand where they're coming from. You know, they were young. They didn't know how to be parents. You're not taught how to be parents. You know, every child is different. They're trying their best. They are trying it. I know there's some parents out here who are bad parents and they do things that they shouldn't do, and they I wish I could give y'all all a hug, or y'all could have experienced a hug from her, because her hugs were like genuine. And her I love yous were meaningful. If you got good parents, love on them, because once they are gone, it's hard. You don't get that same love. You don't. And a lot of people, they don't know that. Happened. I'm gonna go back. When her accident first happened, I didn't tell anybody in the neighborhood. Like, everybody didn't know until like months and months later. It was once we like got her wheelchair and she was outside with the wheelchair. People were like, "Why didn't you tell us? Like, why didn't you?" And I wasn't embarrassed. Was never embarrassed. My mom was like, "That girl, eh?" I was shocked. Like, I was a kid. I went from being a kid to... All right, mind y'all, I'm only 14 and a half. My mom was 5'6", 5'7". So I was picking her up, and I'm not going to say what I was doing, but, you know, because I don't need nobody like, "Oh, that's good." He was like, no. But my mom couldn't do nothing for herself at the time. So, yeah, I'm going to leave that at that. But my mom, she was a fighter. She was a fighter all her life. Rather she had to hit you, fight, or she was fighting through certain situations. But let me tell y'all something. I love her, and I'm gonna cherish every moment I ever had with my mom. And I know this story is supposed to be about her, but it's turned into all over the place. And I'm sorry, y'all, because I kept trying to not get emotional, but it's hard. It's hard not getting emotional talking about her, because I had the greatest mom. Like, no lie, y'all. Like, my mom was that. She was just great. And just certain things that she warned me about, I'm seeing now and I seen them before. Let me explain something to y'all. You know how we pour into people? Like, we pour into our friendships. We pour into our relationships. We pour into other folks. And our parents is who we run to when we are broken, sad, and hurt. Pour all that into your parents. I'm going to say that again. Pour all that you are trying to give to others. Pour it into your parents, because all the time she had to pray that I got over hurt and pain and sickness and all that. That was her. Nobody else. Her. Even my dad. Like, my dad is the same way, but this ain't about him. Everybody know I got the greatest dad too. But we talking about my mom. I just want to say this, like, pour that into your parents. Fuck them friendships. Fuck them niggas. Fuck them girls. Everything she ever told me, a lot of it is coming to light. Even things she said about people before she died, like, through the years. I'm starting to see that, and I'm just like, y'all really didn't love her. My mom would tell me, like, "That person don't love me, girl." And they would act like, "Oh, I love your mom," and this, that, and the third. She would tell me, like, "They don't love me. They don't give a fuck about me. You'll see." And when she died, I see things that I wish I never had to see. But my mom will pray over me. Like, I remember this one friend I had, and she hurt me right before my mom died. It was like a week or two before my mom died. She was talking about me like real bad. And this somebody like I really thought was my friend. And I remember the first sign was my birthday party. And my 30th birthday party. She didn't show up. So people started asking questions like, oh, where was she at? And I'm writing on Facebook like, she's still my friend, da 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 da. Like, she just was sick. Booty booty boo. I'm sticking up for her. Then the end of December came. And somebody was like, listen, sis don't like you. And I gotta keep it real. I gotta send you this stuff. And I mean, it was videos. It was pitch. It was all this proof of this girl talking about me real bad. And I was hurt. And I'll never forget, I was at the bank. I was at TD Bank in Cheltenham. And I was in my car and I was crying because that broke me, you know. And I came to my mom. And my mom just prayed with me. My mom was shocked because this is a friend like my mom knowing when somebody not right. And she did not catch on to this girl. And my mom was hurt that she didn't catch on to it. So she was crying and I was crying. And that's the last time somebody hurt me and my mom had to pray over me. So that was the last time my mom had to pray over me. Also, my lashes, my lash line. Glad you say lash. Okay, make lash. But anyway, yeah, so that was the last time my mom had to pray over me. And let me tell y'all something. If your parent got your back and they praying over you and they love you and they cherish you, listen, pour all that you put into them friends and them relationships, pour that into your parents. I will forever regret that. Forever regret that. I talk about that all the time. Like, I should have just poured all that love into my mother. And here it is, I'm giving y'all stanky, funky people chances. I want to get into the day my mom passed away. So I was at my now ex-boyfriend's house. And she called me. And we was talking. And she was like, oh, can you bring me some? My mom loved breakfast food, okay, y'all? So she was like, can you bring me some potatoes on your way home? Now, mind you, I live 2 blocks away from where I'm at right now. I used to live 2 blocks away. I used to have a duplex apartment. She was like, when you on your way home, can you get me some breakfast food? And can you do this, that, and the third? I'm going to go clean the stove because the stove is dirty and this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, mom. And she was like, but after I'm done cleaning the stove, I'm going to take a nap. So I'm like, okay, I'll call grandma on my way home. Because I thought I was going to be leaving a little early, but I left a little later. So I told her I'll call her because I'm like, she was probably still be asleep. So I go to the market. I get the potatoes. I get the breakfast food. Like, I get everything that she asked me to get. And then I bring the food here. I give it to my grandma. And I go home. Mind you, just 2 blocks away from here. I go home. And then 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call that she doesn't. I think my grandma knew she was going, but she couldn't say that over the phone. So she just said, something's wrong with your mom. And I was so used to those calls, y'all. Like, I was used to them because my mom had lupus. So I was used to getting a call. I pop up, come get my mom, took us to the hospital because my mom hated Einstein. She wanted to go to Edmonton. So I would drive her from Germantown all the way to Edmonton, which is fine. So, and they had all her records. So I was like, I'm gonna come pick her up, take her to the hospital, and then go from there. When I said mommy, if y'all realize, when my mom was in the hospital, she was at Edmonton Hospital when the accident happened. When I said mommy and she wasn't moving, she knew my voice. She started crying. When I said mommy, I knew she was going. She didn't jump. She didn't move. I knew it. And I called 911, and they told me I had to do CPR on her, but she was cold, and I couldn't move her. She was too heavy. If y'all remember, early in the story, when she was in that accident, I used to pick her up. And I couldn't do it. So I couldn't move her. So my dad came. Because my grandma also called my dad. But my grandma told my dad, mind you, my dad also lived 2 blocks away from here. But he's the opposite direction of me. And when she passed, my mom and dad was actually together. Like, they, you know, they would break up, get back together all my life. Okay, let me tell y'all that all my life. But they were together. And a couple weeks before that, we sung happy birthday to my dad. So my dad's birthday is in December. We sang happy birthday to my dad. My mom made me go all the way up Germantown Avenue to give him this nasty cake, because it just had to be perfect. And we sang happy birthday to him, and then he comes in the house. He tries to get her, and he couldn't. He couldn't pick her up. And then the ambulance people come in, and they couldn't. And my dad broke down. Pour that love into your parents. Your good parents, your great parents. I don't care if it's your grandma, okay? I love on my grandma every day. I might annoy her, but because my grandma is not the lovey-dovey person, okay? Let me tell y'all that. But my mom was. And I literally pour so much into my grandma. Like, I'm part of her everyday life. Literally. And I call her about 10 times a day. I talk to my dad. My dad and I always talk. Even when I was a kid, I'll call my dad. Sorry, y'all. I'm giving y'all the the raw me right now. But I would call my dad all the time and call my grandma, because I pour so much love into them. I don't be caring about friendships now. I don't even be caring about men. Like, I don't be talking no more. I don't care about none of that. Because that's one thing I regret, is not pouring my all into my mother. Like, all that. And I'm not saying like I didn't give her love. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like all the shit I've been through with outsiders, and excuse my French, I've been through with outsiders. Like, I could have gave her all that love. All of it. She's praying over me because y'all fake and phony. Speaking of the devil, that was my dad that just called. That man, I'm his baby. But y'all, let me tell y'all, pour all that stuff into your parents, because these motherfuckers out here, they not right. They not right. And I don't have nobody to pray over me like she used to no more. So I'd rather y'all just go on here about your life. I go on here about mine, because, yeah. But anyway, that's the story of my mom. There's a lot more to her, but I just wanted to sum it up for y'all. Like, how good of a person she was. And, like, all the people that loved her. First of all, my mom died during the COVID period, right? Because she died in 21. But, 2020 was the year. 20 people was supposed to come to her funeral, right? Ciao. Everybody named Mama was there. And, it was just so beautiful. Like, everybody and their mama was there that knew where it was at. They was not 20 people. Child, please. My mom, please. And thank you for everybody who came, by the way. But, y'all, I know I'm emotional, but that was my best friend. Like, that was my dog. Like, people don't understand it. It was always me and my mom. My mom, she was the greatest to ever do it. Like, and don't talk about my hair glue, because it ain't do me wrong. It ain't fail me yet, okay? Them eyelash glues, they fail me every single time. It ain't sticky enough. It's runny. It's coming. Like, I ain't got time for that. But I just wanted to let y'all know that I am Sydney's daughter. Her number one daughter. I have necklaces that say number one daughter. Her number one daughter. And I want to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. To all the mothers. And even moms, even bad moms, because they don't have a book. They don't know that they're doing it wrong. I just hope one day they change and their kids can forgive them, you know? But it's Mother's Day, and I'm going to celebrate her every single time. Every single time. Like her birthdays. So for her birthdays, we have like, I've been doing it up since she passed, but even before she passed. My mom never liked parties, really. She like going to people's parties, but she ain't like planning no party because she ain't like cleaning up. And I'm the same way. I do not. Classy Shay, thank you for watching. I'm bougie, but I'm nice. Happy Mother's Day.
She's an icon, she's a legend, and she is the moment. Now come on now.